So now that the season is over, let's figure out what everyone should do going into 2022. Should men's teams people test the waters? More importantly, if people do decide to come back, what will that landscape look like as we'll have some new coaches, we'll have a few veterans, are the new bloods finally going to take shape, move forward, or will the blue bloods be here to stay? Drizzy Drake is here to talk about it on Freestyle Friday.
You are Locked On ACC, your daily podcast on the Atlantic Coast Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's edition of Locked On ACC. I'm your host, Candace Cooper. Thank you so much for joining us today, making us your first listen each and every day. Drizzy Drake, host of Locked On Seminoles, rocking and rolling every Freestyle Friday. We've got some good things to talk about in terms of men's basketball today. We know how the season played out for most, but of course, it's always best to evaluate and how we move on and move forward and, look into next year and all of that good stuff. Drizzy Drake, how are we feeling?
Feeling good, Cans. Feeling good. Yesterday I started my last year in my 20s.
Oh, yes. Let's
Had
go.
I had my family over and everything else, and my mom got me this. I'm not a big sweet guy, but when it comes to cake, I'm a big chocolate. I'm talking on chocolate, and then
Oh.
my girlfriend actually made from scratch her own buttercream icing and her own cake as well. So your boy was eating pretty good last night.
You were caked out.
Oh
That's
yeah,
awesome.
but I did wake up with a slip disc today, so I'm definitely feeling older.
Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, I'm not. I'm fine.
Oh, I'm about to say. Welcome to the almost 30s. I'm not gonna say it goes downhill. Life definitely gets a lot better from a mental perspective, but your body does start to tell you, yeah, I ain't no spring chicken. I need to stretch when we wake up. I need to do all of that good stuff. So I feel that. But happy birthday. I hope you had a good birthday and all of that good stuff. And you're celebrating another year of life, another year of potentially having really good Florida State basketball, maybe football too. I don't know.
Let's
It's all
let's hope for that too. And also, I know my Marlins start opening day today, so hopefully
okay.
they can come back with a dub too. So
Yeah.
it's been a good few days.
Are you happy to have Derek Jeter away from the team?
Um, yes and no. I'm
Okay.
happy that he was down here because my aunt actually does work for the organization. Apparently, he was a really good person to work with and everything else. But
Mhm.
overall, if when he leaving, if like some of the stuff coming out apparently that he was not very keen on sort of the direction of the team that's kind of holding on to prospects. I don't know whether that's him or the organization. We'll find out in a year's time, but I mean, we'll see. But overall, like it's more of a mixed bag for me. But he definitely did some correct moves when it came to like getting some of our starting pitching depth, and also our farm system now is top 3 in baseball. So I'm actually very happy about that.
Nice. No doubt, no doubt. And we know when it comes to GMs, owners, CEO, all that good stuff, everyone's got to make business move decisions for themselves. And
Exactly.
as we look into men's basketball today, a lot of people are going to have a lot of decisions to make. April 24th is when players can decide whether or not they're declaring for the draft. Are they going to get an agent? Are they going to, test the waters and all of that good stuff? So let's start with the team that finished on top in terms of how they finish in the NCAA tournament. North Carolina has a lot of questions to ask. A really good season, right? A very unexpected season. I ain't gonna hold you. We had a lot of hard conversations here on the show about North Carolina, and they ultimately did better than everyone expected, maybe except for them. They kind of probably knew, but they had to have a couple come to Jesus internal locker room meetings. Finish it with a national championship, come up short against Kansas, but we move. Now we look at the landscape of the team, and you're saying to yourself, who's staying, who's testing the waters, and who's coming back? So we know
So
for
I
certain. Oh, sorry, I was gonna say we know for certain Brady's not. Everyone else, fair game.
Okay, I was actually about to ask that because I see that Brady Manek I said listed as senior, but I don't know whether or not the COVID year is like still in effect for someone like him because I know a lot of kids actually are going to have that extra year of eligibility still left over. So then, I mean, my only concern is like, does Armando Bacot go? Mainly because he had the injury late in the tournament, and we all know we're going to see in the NFL draft in a few weeks that the later the injuries that does hurt your draft stock just a little bit.
Yeah.
And Armando Bacot being 6'10", being a big man, and it's being a lower body, almost like I think it's an ankle injury. Also,
Mhm.
potentially could be also part of his foot too, because that's kind of like goes down a certain way. So it's like, do you stay or should you go? And I mean, he showed out in the tournament how effective of a big man he is and how physical he is in there. Like, I don't want to be in the post with that man at all. Period. No, absolutely not. So
Sure.
to me, if I'm him, I would probably see my team doctors if they tell me that, hey, your recovery period's about maybe a month and a half. I'd go.
Mm. You know, let's have an honest conversation here. Let's have a
All
come to
right, let's go.
Jesus here.
Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride
If
out.
you look at Armando, respectfully, I think when I think about him, it reminds me of Dayron Sharp in terms of like, the talent is there. You see the opportunity and the potential there. I don't know if he is NBA ready, but why not go make your money and be a two-way player, do all that kind of stuff? G League is popping these days. Sure. Do I think that Armando would make an immediate impact on anybody's NBA team? I don't know. But why not, go make your bread? However, with the NIL deals now, he making good money. So it ain't like he's hurting for a check or he's playing for free. So the landscape is definitely different for college players in general. But I would say, you might as well test the waters. And honestly, I think that every player on North Carolina's roster who is, has some sort of on the fringe should go ahead and test. Why not? Don't get an agent, but just go see where you're at. Like RJ Davis, I think he should go test the water, but bring his ass right on back. I think Caleb Love should go test the waters, and I think he should just go ahead and go. Thank you for your service.
I like how you mentioned the G League because now it's finally the NBA has like a legitimate minor
Yeah,
league system when it comes to like all these teams. And I mean, I look at Armando Bacot, I'm like, as a Miami Heat fan, I wouldn't mind that man being a Heatle in the late second round. I will definitely take him to replace Omar Yurtseven at 7 for a lot of reasons why. But I mean, I do agree with RJ Davis and also Caleb Love too. And I mean, other than that, there's like, I mean, I agree. Like these kids now have NIL opportunities, right?
mhm,
But also people kind of forget too that the NIL opportunities are for kind of your best players.
yeah,
If we're being completely transparent here, it's a lot more difficult for your smaller role players or a player that we know might have a bigger year coming up, but like also remember they're going up for market value. So it's gonna be
yeah,
very difficult for some of them to actually, recoup that sort of, competition, directly to them. So to me, test it out a little bit. I agree with you. I do like how the NBA allows you to, hey, we'll test you out. We'll give you a grade if you don't have an agent, and you can go around back if you don't like your grade. But we see out more often than not nowadays that like even if you get a late second rounder draft grade, you will leave. FSU saw that with Balsa Pizza last year. So
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think at the end of the day, you do what you got to do. When it comes to Caleb, I feel like you want to be the man. And I love how you lived and died by your shot selection. So go to the NBA, be that hero, be that one who gets on the ESPN highlights and do all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't think that this team can recreate what they did this past year with what's coming in. Like, unless they find another Brady type manic in the transfer portal, I just think they need to ride out in the sunset, and let it be what it is and like exceed expectations for this one year and then we roll. So I want Caleb to go ahead and do his thing. Go ahead.
I was actually going to ask that because like if with Hubert not winning the entire thing right with the squad, it's going to be a not a big drop, but to be a substantial enough drop off where a lot of people are going to be upset, and then we're going to hear probably the same time next year, like if they lose in the round 32 or 16, it's like, oh, this team fell short of expectations, like what happened last year, and then people are going to forget that Brady Manick is gone, Armando Bacot as well might be gone as well, Leaky Black is gone too, so it's like, I mean,
So Leaky has some decisions to make. He may come back, which again, I love Leaky. I appreciate all that he's done for us defensively. I think if he were to come back, he has to spend the summer finding a shot. Like you have to be a 3-and-D guy. Like you cannot just be, someone who's really good on defense and you can't make but 2 points. And I get, in college landscape, we talk about, oh, well, people play important roles. That's fine. But when push comes to shove, I need you to be able to put up at least 10. At least. Not saying every time. Average 10. That's
listen,
fine.
man, just be the
I don't know
three
if
and
that's
D.
the case.
Just be the 3-and-D guy. I mean,
Yeah.
Duncan Robinson. Look at his film over at the Miami Heat. Like my man can't make anything inside the arc, but he makes everything else outside the arc, and has a great podcast too, folks. Go check
Danny
it out.
Green. He needs to call up Danny Green right
Woo!
now and figure out
That's
how to stay in the league, get into the league. You better figure out how to get a shot.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
That'll be a great little buddy comedy over the summer, like Leaky Black hanging out, Danny Green, coming to Netflix series sometime soon.
No, legit. I think that they would be a great like 1-2 tandem. He has to reach him out to him right now because again, they exceeded expectations. However, I think that, in order to maintain or be better than you were last season, you're going to have some tough conversations. But that's just one team that is going through a lot of stuff when it comes to what to do next season. I want to talk about the Blue Devils because they got a lot of superstars and their whole landscape could look different as well. But as we know, we are into getting ready for the summer. This is getting a little warmer, so maybe you want to work out outside, and maybe you want a little snack as you do so. So you should head to Built Bar. Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar ever. All Built Bars are covered in 100% real chocolate. They're low calorie, high protein, and they are an easy replacement for your candy bars. They are better than a typical candy bar, and they give you a lot more bang for your buck with 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, and 4 net carbs, 17 grams of protein. You can compare that to any other candy bar, and I'm sure you will not see the same benefits. Whether you have mint, brownie, coconut, almond, or some delicious chocolate treats, cookies and cream will be there for you. If you think Built Bar has a flavor that might be good, they'll make it. It's delicious and it'll be good for you. Go to built.com, use promo code LOCK15 to get 15% off your order. Again, using promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at built.com. So we're rocking and rolling here with Drizzy Drake of Locked On Seminoles, and we are talking through what changes are needing to be made for men's basketball. Of course, Carolina finished on top, but Duke was right there with them. One of the greatest Final Four matchups of all time. I don't care what anybody says. I thought that was a really good game. I don't care how many for all the drama I said about refs in the NCAA tournament, I felt like that was a very good game. Like, I thought there were more missed calls in the championship game than there were in that Final Four game. I really feel like they let them play. There were a couple okay moments, but I think that went both sides. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they finally somewhat did their job.
Yeah.
The referees at the NCAA, but it is really funny. I haven't been able to get a chance to discuss that. I mean, one, I don't know how you feel about Coach K, losing his last game to UNC and becoming 15-50 against them. I know you're over the moon for that, and then also it's good to see the ACC after having what by our standards is a very down year for basketball across the board, still finding its way to have not one but 2 teams in the Final Four. And then also we had several teams in the Elite Eight. I mean, Miami, listen, Miami, you got lost to the eventual national champion. That's nothing short of absolutely remarkable. I had y'all going that far, but y'all were overall a very damn good team.
Yeah.
And y'all should be right about that.
And if you think about it, if you think about all the great North Carolina and Duke teams to have to play each other in the Final Four, can you imagine what that would have been like if it was a JJ Redick or if it was a Danny Green and his team? How incredible with all that talent, on paper and, in performance that would have been, growing up. And you think about these 2 teams, which of course Duke was solid, but they had their moments. This Carolina team was solid, but they had their moments. But for them to be the 2 teams that met in the national or Final Four of the championship series is just wild to me. You could have never told me that was going to happen.
It's funny that we always discuss how basketball has a lot more parity than football, but then at the end of the day, we had 2, natural blue bloods actually face each other in the Final Four, and 3 of them overall being blue bloods. Villanova, it's good. They're getting there. They're pretty much there. Oh, with Jay right over there, but to me, it is interesting to see that, even though it's kind of funny how I think that we had this Coach K retirement tour, and then it kind of ends. It ends like that, even though you hear some reports with Jay Will, being like Jay Will's not happy about how everything ended. And
Coach K said Coach K said he's not coming back. So he was on some podcasting for Sports Illustrated, and he was like, "Nah, I'm good. It's time. I don't have." Well, he didn't say it in this so many words, but it was essentially talking about how Tom Brady was coming back. And he's like, well, Tom still has the talent or, the expertise to still compete at the high level. He's like, that's not the same case over here. And of course, humble as he is, Coach K can still coach. He still can mentor. He still can do other things. But I think for him, maybe what he would love to do is be, not better. He's an amazing ambassador for, the college basketball game and do some things kind of structurally that need to change that he probably couldn't do necessarily as a coach. Because he's always been a good advocate, in general for whether it's ACC teams or certain players or how certain systems are going or how they need to figure out NIL. But I think now that he can take a step back, it doesn't look like, oh, I'm just trying to do this for Duke. I'm trying to do this for the game and keep this game going and progressing. So I think he's better suited to be in that side of the ball.
Yeah, he definitely needs a front office role or something like that, sort of an ambassador for that. I think when the Redeem team came up in 2008, I think he was the head coach for that team as well with Jerry Colangelo, I think was the GM, and he actually was able to make players want to play for USA again and not have the embarrassment that we had in 2004.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I also think that, like, at the end of the day, as much as grief as we give, I could see him being someone who took over for like the NCAA. Not he would never do this, y'all. So just relax. But just in terms of how he looks at the college game and how things are structured and how things are moving, he's progressing with the times. We've seen that clearly from the 90s to the early 2000s. Like he knows how to change with the times, which we all can appreciate. But say all that to say, he had a couple players who were changing with the times, and they were just as talented, one and doneers, 18, 19-year-olds, typical stuff. And now you look at this Duke team who is going to have a new coach and Coach Shire, all of that energy towards being the new system. And I'm just curious your thoughts on who stays, who goes, but how do you feel like John Shire is going to do? So let's start with the who stays, who goes. When it comes to like Paolo, Mark Williams, Trevor Keels, right? AJ Griffin, Jeremy Roach. I don't know what year Jeremy Roach is, but I think he should come back. Maybe get off the bench because he had an excellent tournament.
I
Good
about to
Lord.
say that man needs to come back and like play a lot more minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, he still played a lot in the minutes, but I think he definitely like showed it like, hey, maybe you actually can play not like maybe almost around him. Paulo's gone. Paulo
Paolo's
should
gone.
Paulo should not come back. I'm sorry, that
Yeah.
man's about to get paid and get drafted like in the top 10. Wendell Moore is a junior, and in
Mhm.
my personal opinion, if you're a junior at Duke, you're not gonna go before you graduate with your degree. I don't think I've seen that actually for the most part all happen at Duke.
So he should come back.
I think it should come back. Trevor Keels and AJ Griffin, I mean, they're both freshmen. They're probably gonna have their name in there to see
Mhm.
where they're at. And then I think it's smart for them to do that because then they'll be like, oh, I'm a mid, 30s round 30s pick overall. Maybe if I have another solid season, I can go into the fringe lottery or like the 20 to 25.
And
And
AJ got hurt during the tournament, but
mhm,
he got hurt a little earlier than Armando. We were talking about injuries, but he played through that shit. Excuse me, he played like he didn't even have an injury. I'm like, did this Joker roll his ankle or pop his knee or what? But we also thought that it could have just been a little bit nerve scared. It wasn't actually as bad as it looked. But however, all I'm saying is it was like, okay, take him to the back, put a couple cortisone shots in, let's roll, because he was doing the damn thing.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's I mean teams also still look at that too.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to play through some of these injuries, man. Especially a game like basketball, where to me it's the most athletic sport. You got to be the more athletic you are, the lot better you are at the game. It's the hardest sport to play for a lot of people, including myself and me being the round mound over here trying to hand it out. So to me, like I think a more of these kids should stay because the recruiting class that Coach Shire is going to be bringing in is so well talented. And in
Yeah.
basketball, when the better talent around you, we saw with LeBron, D Wade, and Boston, they all played together. We saw with Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen. Like when you have that talent surrounding you, you only look better. You only look
Mhm.
good when you're all actually at that peak sort of athleticism and talent. So to me, like these kids will improve their draft stock if they do come back. And
Yeah.
also like maybe some of them were like, hey, we see what Hubert Davis did, right? He got
Mhm.
all the way down to championship his first year. Why don't we do the same for Shire, except win the whole damn thing? We weren't able to beat them last year, but maybe just one up them the year after.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, let me be very clear. Nothing takes away from that game. Carolina won. It's Coach K's last year. Cool. You can have John Shire win a national championship. It won't matter because you can never get a Coach K in his final year again. However, it would say a lot about Shire in the new era if he were to take them to a national championship. Maybe he was waiting for the opportunity to do that. And I also think that, in terms of you talking about people being really good, maybe those guys do want to come back and have just like a weight lifted off their shoulders and exhale. They don't have the pressure of Coach K retiring over their heads. Who knows?
I mean, who knows? And then like I said, with the recruits, they're bringing in Caleb Foster and Tyrese Proctor, 2 5-stars, Jared McCann, another 5-star too. It's like the pressure was all on them to win for Coach K. I
Yeah.
mean, we joked about how JJ Redick and like Jay Williams were like all like up in the grill, like, hey, how y'all getting blown about UNC right now? What's going on here? You're ruining this moment.
Yeah.
And so they had to deal that with former alum, deal that with basically the media, also deal
Yeah.
with Coach K and the fan base. So it's like
Yeah.
this year, what's the best way to kind of like rectify that?
Yeah.
And that's basically to run it back and do like have a mulligan, if you will.
have a 2016 North Carolina team ended up winning in 2017, where it's like redemption season. I mean, hell, Carolina could do that. There's so many storylines here. We always got some storylines when it comes to the Blue Bloods. But when I talk about the new bloods and going into the season, are they going to change the tide? I know you want to talk about your boy Hammy, so we're right here with it. BetOnline is your number one source for all of your sporting needs and information. Find all the latest sports developments, including this week's Masters Championship. Shout out to Tiger, odds, podcasts, and reviews for all of the different leagues. BetOnline is your continued spot for all of the sport wagering information, including live betting, esports, and scores. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline is where the game starts. So we're finishing up here with Drizzy Drake of Locked On Seminoles. Shout out to Tiger again, because my dog, it takes a lot to play golf with a broke leg. He is coming back, and I just think he is better for the game of golf. Like, I don't care how he finishes. If Tiger playing, certain people, I'm tuning in. I ain't tuning in if Tiger ain't playing. Although my aunt loves the golf, so like we watch it regardless. But we love some Tiger. We all love some Tiger.
I mean, I like Tiger. I just don't like watching golf. I ain't gonna. I'm not even gonna lie to
That's
you on
all
this
good.
podcast.
It's all
Yeah, like that.
good.
It's funny. I equate it to like having your younger sibling play a video game. You have to watch them because your parents let you play. So I'm because like I like and playing the game is actually it is fun. Like hanging out with
Yeah.
my friends doing all that. But when it comes to just watching, I'm just like, is this how people feel when I tell them about baseball? Because I am just bored out of my damn mind here.
That's hilarious. Now, Tiger Woods, he's a blue blood of the golf game, we can say, right?
Yep.
But there are
Yes.
new guys like Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, all the new age, players who are coming and trying to make a name for themselves, similar to the new bloods of college basketball and the ACC, especially the Florida States of the world. The Miamis, apparently, they're trying to give you a little vibe when it comes to basketball. I just feel like, at the end of the day, this is going to be a new season, new energy. Will things stay the same in terms of, well, one, let's talk about the fact that let's not doubt the ACC anymore. And we're good on that. Number two, is there a new challenger? Can Florida State figure it out? They have guys a little bit older, a little bit healthier, transfer portal, see how it goes. Wake Forest, a team that has, gone through transition, and Londez Williams is deciding to play for the draft, but still, you kind of know who Forbes is now, know what he can bring. Hell, even Boston College and Coach Grant, new energy. As much as we talk about, Boston College, they made a lot of improvements last year. Might not be as quick as Wake Forest will be, but still, you never know. I'm never going to put anything past anyone around here.
Yeah, about to say, folks, if you're talking about bad about the ACC, take my conference's name out your mouth. Shout out Will Smith. But no, with the it's interesting to
Finally.
see how I know we were waiting for that reference for
I
literally
know, right?
about a week and a half right now. It took us that long to do it. But to me, with it's going to be interesting to see how Miami does next season, mainly because they do lose a lot. Karen
Mhm.
McGusty is a senior. He's definitely going to be drafted. Sam
Yeah.
Wardenberg, the same damn thing. Charlie Moore, too. I mean, Isaiah Wong, honestly, also could go. So that is
Should go.
she should go, honestly. I don't know if he's like he had a damn good year.
Go
Yeah,
be a
man.
two-way player. He
Oh, yeah.
is so talented when he wants to be, and that's got to be frustrating as hell. Like when you have a player that you're like, he's probably the best player on this court, just not today.
Oh, yeah, Jim Larrañaga definitely. If he didn't have hair, like he's already balding or bald, like he definitely would have lost it by the end of the season. Like I'm like, damn, Isaiah, you can do it. I
Yeah,
believe in you. Like
right.
you gotta be locked in. But yeah, they're gonna lose a lot there, and it's gonna be interesting to see how they react. I wouldn't be surprised if they're the one of the teams that actually falls off and maybe be the one of the first four out next season. But
Yeah.
who knows? We'll see how recruiting wise. And then Florida State, we did lose one of our assistants yesterday, Charlton Young, that's actually leaving to hang out to coach with Coach Gates over at Missouri, the former assistant under Coach Ham. So that's another assistant that we lose. And also Anthony Polite is declared for the draft. We
Mhm.
also see why Wilkes has also entered the draft. And we're losing a lot. And now it's going to be interesting to see how Coach Ham kind of resets with this. Because this
Mhm.
is the first time he's had continuous coaching turnover actually within his staff. And this is a team that at times last year didn't really gel that much well, especially
Yeah.
with the freshmen coming in like a Jalen Warley and Matthew Cleveland. But we saw the growing pains. They also were super duper young. And to me, it's getting to the point now with Coach Ham that he's done such great thing. It's like, is it too much to ask for him to bring, this young team back to what we wanted to see, which is a Sweet 16 Elite Eight run? Because the one thing that Coach Ham doesn't have is a Final Four appearance. And that's
Mhm.
something that, quite honestly, with the 2020 team, when we had a Devin Vassell, a Patrick Williams, a Trent Forrest, that team would have won it all. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So to me, it's hard. it's really
Yeah.
hard to see like how FSU we might be actually be kind of asking like whether or not basketball might be going back to being a decent good player. But now that we're a new blood, we kind of like want to keep pushing forward to keeping up with the Dukes and the UNCs of the world.
The draft kind of the transfer portal kind of reminds me of the draft now, where you're going to have to interview kids and really see if they'll be able to gel well with the team. Because, for most of them, it's going to be a 1 to 2 year thing where they come in, they do their thing, and they move on about their way. So, how coaches kind of finesse that is going to be very interesting. It worked for Wake Forest, right? It worked for North Carolina. I won't say it worked for Duke because Theo John really didn't do much, but I really feel like, you're going to be in a position to where if you can find a more senior leader or even a junior to come in and kind of take over or really get the minutes that he was looking for, maybe in somewhere else, and now he's here for you, it could really benefit your team and take you to the next level. Without Brady Manick, I know Carolina wouldn't be where they are, just flat out. So, transfer portal, as much as people talk down sometimes, I think it could be a benefit to some programs. But for the ACC, we all know it's going to be interesting to see how they roll out because, again, Coach Paster's not going anywhere. Georgia Tech's going to figure it out eventually. He's a very good coach. He's the one who called UNC being a top 10 team early on, right? And a lot of people had to eat their words when they called him crazy. We also see, teams like NC State, they're going to have a whole transfer portal damn near, all of that good stuff. So a lot of unknowns as we're heading into the 2022 basketball season. But for fun's sake, I think, again, ACC is still here, been here, will always be here. So the doubts can go away. And I'm looking forward to seeing more people join the conversation as we head into the new year. But that's all the time we have. Drizzy Drake has, things to do here. So I want everyone to know where Drizzy Drake is, where they can find his work and all that good stuff. Drizzy Drake, please enlighten the folks.
I'm in South Florida. Oh, you mean my handle? Oh, yeah. Folks, my handle is at Tally__Drake. You can follow my co-host at MaxMoody17. You can follow the podcast at Knowles Anonymous and also at Ella_Seminoles, the Knowles Anonymous account. That's where we engage with our fans. We also have a Discord too, where we basically do our mailbag Mondays. We do our themes for each of our episodes. As always, everybody, take care of yourselves this weekend. Have a good time. And let's go Marlins. Hopefully don't make me depressed by May because give me at least June to be somewhat excited about baseball for the season.
I thought you were going to drop your cash out because it's your birthday, all that good stuff,
I mean, I can do that too, man.
And we all know he likes cake. ¿Cómo se dice cake en español?
Postre, dulce, solamente eso.
See. Okay. Well, one day we're going to do a little Spanish episode. I feel it. It's coming. It's one of these days. Okay. Ooh, locked on Español. Okay, I feel it. We already coming up with new content. Just pay
Listen, I'll
us.
get the paella ready, get some arepas done, do some morcillas, some chorizo, solamente puedo decir, we got you. We got you.
Claro que sí. Okay. All right, y'all. Have a great weekend. Make sure y'all are smart and safe out here. Enjoy some baseball. Enjoy some Masters. Go Tiger. All of that good stuff for Candace Cooper and Drizzy Drake. Until next time.